just absolutely soaks it up and takes it. You still got to be mindful of some things.
I describe it.
But go ahead.
I describe it as it's like being in a boat in rough seas where the boat just kind of, I mean, it moves, but it just bobs along, and if in a big boat, you're crashing through big waves if there's swell in the water, and it's just like a boat in that it takes a lot to get it changed direction and to stop it as well. So while it will run over almost anything, it also takes a lot of muscle to get it wound down, and you're changing directions. That sometimes is a bit of a struggle as well.
It is, and they're so
usually
they're so big and so heavy, and you're running 6,500 pounds, 7,000, some of them 7,000 pounds, I guess sometimes, but when you're running 130 and something that's 6,500 pounds on dirt, when a 90-degree corner comes up, it comes up fast, and so
yeah.
It just,
with a cliff on the other side and a bunch of boulders.
That's right. So learning, what it's capable of doing, and what's funny is if you're in some 65, 70 mile an hour stuff, and you're using the brakes, and you get into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden you get into a place where it straightens out a little bit, and you run 130, and the perception of everything massively changes. When you got to start checking up to make that corner, getting this thing slowed down. What can it take when you're hard on the brakes? If you're coming up to a section that is really, really rough right before a turn, and now you're just smashing on the brakes because you're trying to make the corner, but yet being on the brakes that hard isn't helping it get through the bumps. So there's all those these things are capable of going through a lot of things and absolutely soaking it up and it not being any problem at all, because they're so good at going through those things and that they can go through them so fast. You can get yourself in a predicament real quick, with the wrong corner or the bad rock or the wrong cliff,
So it's you are fortunate in that you have a father that made a living driving in the desert and then spent a lot of time driving around or spending time in Baja. And where I'm going with this is I was very fortunate enough to get to spend some time with Sebastian Bourdais and Paul Newman, for that matter, and Oriol Servia, Michel Jourdain, and a few other IndyCar drivers that came and drove Wide Open Cars, the company that I worked for back 10 or 15 years ago. And they raced in the Baja 1000, and I spent time kind of showing them the ropes, how to drive in the dirt. And the thing that those guys struggled with was the variables, the unpredictability of the race course. And I'm not kidding you, man. Every one of those guys tore corners off the cars. They had an amazing car handling ability, and clearly are good race car drivers. But the first time in Baja, they struggled because they just were not able to process the fact that turn 2 wasn't always going to be the same.
Yeah.
They did struggle.
Yeah. I think that's one thing where, although I got sidetracked, I did grow up in the desert. I did a lot of pre-running with my dad. If I wasn't pre-running with him, I was out on my four-wheeler running through the desert as fast as I could, and stuff snuck up on me back then, and I learned pretty quick, how to read some things in the desert. But Dad was really helpful going into the door too. He gave me some really good tips and pointers, and just stuff you don't think about if you don't do it all the time. If you're going into you're in a long stretch and you look up ahead and there's and it looks a little chewed up and pretty whooped out. Guys have probably been on the brakes a lot going through there. And so it's probably a tight corner. He said you're running through things and all of a sudden you start seeing some stuff that's real green. You're probably coming up on some water.
That's one. Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up, because I had a situation with my father-in-law here a couple of months ago down in Scorpion Bay. Fortunately, nothing happened, but he hit a little hole, and I told him, I said, look back, let's stand back a ways here. There's green bushes on both sides of the road here, and they extend out. There's clearly water running across here, and that's the hole that you hit.
Yeah. I mean, the desert, although to somebody that hasn't done it a lot, has a lot of blind spots. To somebody that has a lot of experience, there's a lot of telltale signs for what's coming up, and
there's clues.
And I have, I'm a long ways away from mastering into that because I just don't have the seat time that the other guys do. But I have a little bit of that from my past, and then definitely have my dad to pull from, which is good. And I feel like in when we did that Nora race, I felt really comfortable. But quite honestly, that pace is it's a fun pace. It's not really a race pace. You try to go hard, but at the same time you're down there having fun. I think when you go down to Baja and you got a little bit of a gun to your head and you're trying to really compete, that stuff sneaks up on you a little bit quicker. So it's definitely a balance. The thing I've noticed about the desert is that you run really hard, but you run conservative enough to where you're beating those guys that are running a little bit harder than you, that are making 20 mistakes where you make 5. And over the course of time, you're running a pace that's strong enough, but capitalizing on not making mistakes, you beat that guy that's running at 10/10 all the time.
100% correct, man. Listen, Casey, I am super excited for you. We'll be rooting for you, waiting for you at the finish line, hoping to see you there in some of the top spots. And who knows, man, you guys might be able to pull off a win as well. There's a lot of capable teams there, and stranger things have happened, and you're with a good team. So I'm stoked you're getting to do that. Hoping you be safe. Any final? Actually, you know what? I got to ask you one question. I ask almost everybody that comes on this show, and you're no newcomer to Baja. Where's the best taco?
Dude, I found so many good tacos. I don't know where the best one is.
Well, I'll give you an easy out. You could just say your mom.
She does damn good. I can tell you that. But there was a little place down in Laredo we had, when we went on that motorcycle ride that, gosh, dang, I think I ate about 12 of those things. They were damn good. But, for me, honestly, the best ones are right along the side of the street, man, when they're cutting that pork off the burner. I love those street side taco places, man. And
Al Pastor.
Yeah, they're busy for a reason.
Right on, man. Well, listen, we both have some trick-or-treating to do. I'm thankful that you carved out some time to talk with me. I'm excited for you, and I'll be seeing you. Are you going to be in Vegas for the SEMA show?
No plans yet, but I might shoot over there for a couple days.
All righty. Well, if not, I'll see you down in Baja. This has been the Baja Sessions with Casey Mears. Thanks again. Tune in next week. We'll have more interesting conversation with interesting people somehow related to the majestic peninsula of Baja California.
This episode of The Answer is Yes Baja Sessions is brought to you by Baja Bound Insurance Services. Driving to Mexico? You can buy and print out your Mexican auto insurance policy online in minutes with their easy-to-use website. They also have great travel information to help you plan your trip south of the border. Visit bajabound.com.
Don't forget to check out the BajaMap.com if you'd be interested in owning a leather-bound 60-inch canvas map of the Baja Peninsula. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Baja Sessions. We'll be back next week to chat with another Baja brother or sister. And until then, Viva Baja!